Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Rise podcast with me, your host, Katie Oman, women's empowerment coach, author, book coach, and all-around fabulous human being. I have created this podcast because I believe in the power of women's stories. I know they have the power to help us, inspire us, empower us, and change our lives. And I wanted to hold a platform that we could really lean into that and chat to some amazing people. So yet again, as always, I have a treat for you today. I have a very wonderful, gorgeous woman next to me. Well, not next to me, sadly. I wish she was, because she's fabulous. I may introduce you to Sonia-Jane Acheson, who I have known for a few years now, and I'm so excited that she's on my podcast. Sonia, how are you doing, gorgeous?
I'm so great, Katie. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, it's a good day. I mean, the weather's not playing today, but we're good. We're still smiling.
Absolutely. Like we mentioned earlier, we need the rain in order for things to bloom and flourish, right? So it's the blend of sun and rainbows.
Exactly. So as you guys know by now, I don't introduce my guests apart from telling you their name. I let them introduce themselves. So Sonia, tell us all about you. Who are you? What do you do? All that gorgeous stuff.
That's a huge question, Katie.
Sure. Start at the top, right?
Okay, right. Where should I start? Where should I go? Who am I? Right, I am a sassy, gorgeous little redhead. Thank you. I love swimming. I'm a runner. I'm a writer. I'm a healer. A cold water swimmer. What else? Oh my gosh, all the wonderful things am I. I'm a teacher. I'm a student. I'm a lover. I'm a laughter. I love giggling. Oh my gosh, I'm a giggler. I'm a crier. I do connective tissue release work. I do energy healing work. Yeah, I suppose that's who I am at a core cellular level. If we're talking about like who am I, if we're not going into kind of roles and that kind of stuff. What else did you say? Right, what do I do? So I've worked in live television for 22 years, and that has been an incredible part of my life and my journey, and all of that has brought me to the reason I suppose we're sitting here talking with you today. Yes. In the last I'd say 7 to 8 years, I've kind of moved into my passion, my calling, my purpose, and I've always had a feeling that there was something else out there for me, and I never really knew what it was. So I've kind of just, since those last years I was just speaking about, I've kind of moved into just saying yes to everything, because I always knew there was something else out there for me and I wasn't really sure how to get there, what to do. So I was like, right, I'm just going to keep saying yes to everything. And that's brought me today to, I suppose, the work that I do, and the work that we're going to kind of talk about or delve into today and how we met is a connection back to self. Connection back to self is that world where I really deeply know for myself, of course, cellular level, the importance of knowing who I am, that I love me, that I'm getting a bit emotional already. That I love me, I do love me, and I hope Katie, I hope you can say I love you to yourself as well.
Oh, you know that I've been on that journey as well, and it took me a long time to get there, but you also know that I'm fully there. I know I'm fabulous. It just, sometimes it takes people a bit longer than others to recognize that. But hey, some people never recognize it, right? So at least that we're in that space, which is great.
It totally is. And that's why it's so beautiful, this podcast, and you blending and mixing and offering up all these beautiful people that have gone through certain journeys, certain experiences, and showing up to guide people, to teach people, to show people, to say, do you know what, I've done this, and I would like to share that magic, that wonder, that insight with you. Come along and play. So for me, at a core cellular level, I know that I've released trauma, I've released experience, I've released story, I've released a car accident. My body was holding on to trauma, and she was flooring the brake for about 10 years before I kind of got into this work to realize that once we surrender and give our body permission at a core cellular level, a water web myofascial connective tissue level, that's where my passion excites. I know that we can let go and release that. So my leg, isn't flooring the brake anymore. Because I was in so much pain for so many years, my hips, my feet, my legs, and I wasn't wobbling, but my leg length difference definitely wasn't even when I started into connective tissue release, myofascial release, energy healing, the chakra balancing, all of the delicious things that I've trained in, I've learned in, because I met a guy and I was like, I need to be him. How do I do that? How do I be you? When do I do it? And let's get going. And within 6 months, I was training and I was doing my training. It was just, it's gorgeous. It's so exciting.
I love that. I love that for you. I love the journey you've been on. I mean, for those that don't know, Sonia and I met in 2018. So we've known each other for about 6 years. And Sally, we don't talk all the time because she's a very busy lady. But to be fair, now I'm also a very busy woman, as you know. But we both were speakers at a beautiful event in London for International Women's Day back in 2018 called Awakening Goddess, Awakening something. Awakening to something. And I remember, it's funny, out of all of because there were some amazing women there, and this is no disrespect to them, but out of all of the women that spoke, you really stayed with me. You listening to your story and the way you presented it, the authenticity, the vulnerability, the absolute truth really resonated with me. And I thought, oh my goodness, she's just incredible. She's like a little firecracker. And you were so and are so ultimately yourself. And I just thought, God, it was so refreshing to see that, you know. I mean, does that resonate with you? I mean, I don't mean to make you emotional, but does those kind of, the way I perceive you, is that now how you perceive yourself?
I'm just breathing that in because that's such a beautiful compliment, and the words you've used there is landing so deeply with me. And I think I feel that at a level that has allowed my tear ducts to just flutter gently in my eyes, and I'm loving her and appreciating her, and I'm going to welcome that compliment in, because it's learned behavior where we're like, oh no, oh yeah. No, that's fine, oh no, well it was just no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to welcome that in, and I thank you for that, Katie, deeply. That really lands and it resonates. And yes, I do believe what you're saying is true. You know, I worked super hard to get that speech out there. You know, when Gaia, I actually went to I think it was, I went to the event the year before, and I sat and sobbed the whole way through those 8 women sharing their story. And I just thought, that's incredible. Like, how are they standing up there and being so raw, so truthful, so heart-feelingly emotive, where I was sobbing? I had just broken up with my fiance the night before, so there was a lot of other things going on for me. And I just thought, oh my gosh, one day I feel that would be amazing for me to do, but never really tangibly thought that was a possibility. And, you know, a few months before that, I had been on a life coaching weekend course as a taster. It was fabulous. And I committed to myself, and I showed up and I said, I'm going to show up in the next year and do a speech or a share in public. Went to the event, went to Gaia's post started coming out. And it was like the universe just went, here you go. You said you want to do something. I'm handing it to you on a plate. And I seen it and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do that. So I wrote up and submitted something in to see if we could blend and fix in with the group. And 4 days later, I got a reply, and I was like, but I wasn't terrified. I was like super excited, because I thought, I do have something to say. I have got something to share. Yes, it's going to be terrifying. Yes, I'm going to have to show up in my truth. But being held in that container, in the safety of being with you and the other incredible women, as we journeyed week after week, month after month, to get us from, I think I was accepted in November. We did it in International Women's Day, March 18. Yeah, thank you. 18, as you say. And it was one of the most incredible journeys I took with myself. I remember sitting at the roots of trees and crying as I wrote, as I opened up my little Sonia's heart. You know, I did a lot of inner child work. I had to delve into that little part of me and go, right, darling, I need to show up with my 7-year-old self, my 12-year-old self, my 18-year-old self. And I had to get permission for that. And I took it so seriously that I went to see a hypnotherapist, because I was terrified of speaking in public. that I actually forgot about that, but that experience of connecting with my 3 younger Sonias on a picnic at the bottom of a tree in my mind's eye was as real as you and I sitting here together.
Yeah.
It was life-changing. And when those little girls said yes, you can tell our story. And bearing in mind, my little Sonia, my 7-year-old Sonia, said no, first of all.
I remember.
We went round, thank you, yeah, we went round, and I had to come back. And I reframed the story, and I basically said to her, darling, if you had heard what I would like to share about our story now or then, would it help you? And she said yes. And I said, so can I tell our story? And she said, yeah.
It's just gorgeous, isn't it? And it shows the power. I mean, we talk about doing the work, we talk about healing and the power of healing, and healing is our responsibility, right? Absolutely. We can have help in that, we can have support in that, but ultimately it's down to us to heal ourselves. And it shows the absolute power in inner child work. And I don't think, sometimes I think people kind of overlook it. We're so kind of, we focus on the trauma, right? We focus on the, you know, the journey and how it's impacted us now. But even if your childhood was conventionally good and, you know, you've had a very loving and supporting family, that doesn't mean that inner child work is something to bypass, right? It's like, it's all part of it because it's all you. It's all your story, and it all has power in there somewhere.
Absolutely. I completely resonate, and yeah, I completely resonate with everything you just said. And you're right. And you know, trauma is quite a huge word, but it's not necessarily trauma. It's about an experience. It's about something you say no to. It's about being pushed in the playground. It's about being called Four Eyes since the age of 7 throughout most of my years, being told, oh, look at Copper Top or Ginger Nut. And you know, now I embrace my red hair. I'm freaking awesome. I look beautiful right now. My hair is shining, and I embrace my red hair.
I'm proper jealous. I want to do the switch like you. I can't. I'm like that. My head doesn't switch.
But Katie, it wasn't until the last 10 years that I've actually embraced who I am. You know, I'm a pale, freckly, white-skinned, ginger, little, beautiful bundle of joy. And I'm happy. I'm happy in that skin, but I haven't always been. You know, I was bullied for so many years, and it's really unpleasant and unnecessary. So as you say, the inner child work is so exciting, and delving into the unknown and just sitting in the quiet and just taking a breath. In fact, shall we take a breath? Just take a breath with me.
Yes.
So in that moment, as we just take a beautiful, nourishing breath in, just allow that to flutter across our shoulders, our chest, and allowing that breath to subside in the body, and feeling the tingles, feeling the shaking, feeling the tremors, but just bringing ourselves back to breath, knowing that we're going to be okay, you know, in that quiet, in that still. And with the breath in, maybe visualize something fun and exciting, whether it's bouncing balls, glittery stars, crystals, swimming, you know. Allow that to flow and flurry across your body so you can feel it, and bring yourself back into a sense of calm and just delicious wisdom and knowing, just asking and connecting back to self, you know.
Yes, it's so true. And the power of breath work. I mean, it sounds so, I remember putting a post on a few years ago and it said, make sure you're breathing. And somebody said, well, obviously, because otherwise I wouldn't be here. And I was like, no, I don't mean that. I mean, obviously you're breathing because you'd be dead, right? What I mean is breathe properly, right? Which is not here. It is in the belly, it's down here, nice and slow, nice and controlled. Because I say to people, it doesn't matter what's going on around you, how much you're spinning, how much noise there is, how much chaos there is, you always have the breath. And when you come back to that in a very connected way, it's more powerful than I think people realize, because it regulates the nervous system, it slows down the heart rate, it slows down the blood pressure, and it gives yourself time to think, which, you know, in this world of chaos, don't we all need a bit of time to bloody think?
Yeah, absolutely. But also, if we're going to upgrade that a little bit, to feel. We need to feel in our body what's going on, like asking our body the wisdom and magic. Our body knows how to heal herself. Like she knows. If we just take a breath, you're like, darling, what do you need from me right now? What can I give you? What can I offer you? And let me sit in that quiet and that still. And it's not always a nice place to sit, you know.
No.
It can be terrifying. It can be. And that's why often so many of us are just busy, busy, busy. I'm going to be busy doing this. I'm going to be busy. And I'm just going to fill my life with people and things and places and stuff and more tasks and more jobs. And let me do that for you. I'm going to fix you. So let me take that on. Let me stop. Let's just stop.
Yeah.
Let's just pause. Let's take a breath. Just feel into the body. And, emotion can be expressed in so many different ways, right? We can, of course, cry. We can, of course, sob, but we can giggle. We can laughter.
Yeah.
Some of my practices with my beautiful women I hold in, various my healing rooms, we giggle. And, I'm holding a safe space for someone, but the expulsion of an experience is giggling. I remember in my training, when I was doing my connective tissue release training in Scotland, incredible academy. And I lay on a bed and giggled for over 20 minutes, Katie. And I literally looked up at our trainer and I was like, Jane, I can't stop laughing. And I just couldn't. And thankfully she was there. She brought her beautiful hands and her energy to my base chakra, and she just took a breath with me, and we just grounded and we just got back into my body. But there was wonderful happening. I have no idea what it was. There was no story, there was no experience, but the euphoria, the ecstasy, the joy that I was feeling throughout my body, releasing and shaking and giggling, was so powerful. I'll never forget it.
It's fabulous. That's the thing, isn't it? We talk about healing and we see it as something very traumatic and upsetting. So we talk about, the crying and the grief and the loss and the pain and the anger. We forget that joy and happiness is an emotion too. Who knew? And so that when you have a release, whatever that looks like, it doesn't have to be completely dramatic and traumatic and dark. Any energy release is a release. And if that is laughter, then absolutely. I mean, I am a huge advocate of the power of laughter. I remember doing some laughter yoga a couple of years ago, and it was one of the most joyful things I've ever done in my life. It was absolutely insane and absurd, but in the most wonderful way. It's great.
And also you feel it at a visceral level, don't you?
Yeah,
all of your organs start bouncing around, your muscles, your blood, your bones, everything starts moving and shaking. And when you're giggling, you're pushing through and you're powering, and your body's in complete flow. That you're like, let's just get this out, let's just shake it out, and also embrace it, like feel it in your heart, that euphoria, that beautiful feeling of childlike love. Anytime I have the opportunity to get on a slide at a playground or a swing, I'm on it. There's a gorgeous swing actually outside King's Cross train station. And I remember standing there and I was like, I really want to get on there. I really want to get on there. And I was worried about what people are thinking of me. And I was like, nah, I need to get on. So I sat and I swang. And do you know what happened? People started queuing up to swing. It was just...
I love that.
It was great. And so I got off and, let's share the love, baby. Let's just move it all around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, having my darling twins who are now going to be 12 in a couple of weeks, time recording this, and I know, but I mean, there's been times through the years where I've taken them to the park and the playground, and everybody else is kind of just sitting there looking kind of bored, and playgrounds, there's not a lot for adults to do, so that's why most adults are on their phone. We know this. And there's been times where I've been, like I say, on slides, swings, seesaws, roundabouts, and from some of them, not all of them, from some of them you can see the looks, right, and the little the energetic stuff that's coming my way of judgment, but also of envy, right? Jealousy. Like, I wish that I had the freedom to allow myself to do that, but I can't, because I'm too worried about what other people would think.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's so... I hear you. I hear you. But it's that whole thing. You are carving out a path for me to think, oh, maybe I could do a podcast. So someone has to step forward first for us to think maybe it might be possible, right? So I think even in the playground, let's step forward, let's get on the swing, let's offer up the path for someone else to go, oh, maybe I can walk that path too. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's what I was going to say to you. You talked about that guy who inspired you to be a healer, and was so wonderful, and you're like, how can I be you? And then went and did the training. And that's the thing, we talk about the comparison trap and, you know, judging ourselves against other people, which in the world of social media, you know, comparison, I think, is bad, obviously, when it makes you feel like crap in comparison, right? However, comparison itself doesn't have to be all bad if it inspires you, if it motivates you. If you see something as somebody else where you go, okay, well, that's awesome. How'd you do that? And then it's not about copying, it's about then taking that idea and making it your own. But so comparison doesn't have to be bad, it's the energy you're taking it to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that permission that goes, okay, if they're doing it, let me do it that way. And, you know, Mark Harris, who was the guy that I spoke about, he's an incredible friend now and a mentor, and he is so inspiring. But more so, which is so deeply touching and awe-inspiring, is that he has so much faith in me. He believed me to do this work, but in just such a different way and a unique way. And he's like, I see this for you and this for you and this for you, but just keep going. Like, don't worry about it. Just follow, follow the whispers or follow the steps. And like I said earlier, just saying yes to everything. When the opportunities arrive, just keep saying yes. So if you know, if you don't know what is out there for you, what more is out there for you, just keep saying yes to all the good stuff, you know?
Yeah. And it's that stuff that's aligned, right? It's that stuff that gives you the happiness, gives you the joy, gives you the excitement. That's what you say yes to. And I remember when we did Gaia's event, and of course then I went and gave a talk in Cambridge for another event, and I was on the way home and I felt really flat. And it wasn't that the event had gone bad, it actually went really well, but I was like, and I was going, okay, why am I feeling flat? What's the matter with me? And realizing that there was nothing to work towards coming up, there was nothing to look forward to, right? Which made me feel really, because I'd been like, you're like on that train, metaphorically, there's this and then there's this and then there's this, and then suddenly I was like, oh, there's nothing for me to do now. And that's when I had the idea to create Rise, which, as I know you've also spoken at, which is my women's empowerment event, and which is in its 5th year this year. It's exciting. But I remember I emailed Gaia and I said, I've had this idea for an event that's similar to yours. Do you mind if I do it? And she was like, no. She said, actually, there should be more of what this is. There should be more events like this. There should be more spaces like this. So no, go and do it. And that's the thing. It's like we have an idea and we go, this is mine. This is my idea. This is my thing. Nobody else can do it. And it's crap. It's like, actually, the more that we have these spaces where women are shining and thriving, the more it opens the door for all of us, surely. That's a long tangent, but I thought it's an important thing to mention.
Oh my goodness, no, absolutely not. There was no tangent there. It was deeply engaging. And the joy and what I'm hearing from that is the scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
It's so unnecessary. It's so interesting. You know, like I said, I've worked in live television and events and broadcast for, 20 odd years. And I've had a phenomenal career there. And I'm blending both of my passions. So I'm very, very appreciative for that. It's a delicate dance, don't get me wrong, it's not easy peasy, but that's just life and that's where I'm drawn to do. But what I will share in regards to the scarcity, it's very familiar for me to witness and see places and people go, oh no, that's just mine, no, I want that, I want that, I want that, no, it's mine, shh, don't tell anyone, don't tell it.
Yeah.
I just have to trust, and that's such a beautiful share actually, that you spoke with Gaia and then you said, no, I'm going to do Rise, and it's a beautiful holding, it's a beautiful container. If you haven't yet spoken at Rise, I urge you, it will change your life, it will open up your heart, your soul, and to be cocooned and held in such safety of a container of mentorship as you walk forward and you learn and you share with other women in a safe space. It's life-changing, it really is. And I just think there's so much of us to go round. You know, people that might want to hang out and be in my energy might not want to be in yours, Katie, or vice versa. So I love the fact that people come into me, we do a little bit of work, you know, we might be doing my moon circles like we did in the pandemic online, and then they've moved off and they're doing something with someone else, like a colleague or a friend. I said, they do drum circles or they do singing bowls or they're doing chanting, and they're like, oh, that's my thing, I want to do that. And I'm like, go fly, go boom, go nourish, go and find your thing. And it's a stepping stone. And I really, the scarcity mindset is just, it's fear-based, and I don't want to be a part of it.
No, who does? I mean, I say who does, because it's so prevalent. Our fear in our society is like, it's a lot right now, and if you are sensitive to it, sometimes it's very overwhelming. even like going to the supermarket or whatever is like, sometimes it's a lot. And, you know, it's very easy, I think, to allow yourself to get sucked into that. And to, like, I don't know about you, but I haven't actually watched the actual television news program for years. Like, I know what's going on because I pay attention to, you know, different forms of media, but I won't watch the news because it affects me and my energy very personally. And then I get in fear. So it's like, I realize, I'm sure you have, your energy is everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I have to protect it. I have to protect it. And goodness, as soon as you said that, I was like, I need to protect her. And that visceral feeling of I need to protect me in the vessels I show up now, but also all the younger selves of me, and retelling and retraining, guiding her in and out of those stories. And to think that the 10 o'clock news is on at 10 o'clock at night before we go to bed. Why?
And then we wonder why we can't sleep.
Yeah. We wake up in fear, we're terrified, we wake up with anxiety, we have panic attacks, we're having awful, terrible dreams. We don't have to watch the 10 o'clock news. Yes, like you say, you can, all of the options of receiving news these days is vast. We're very lucky and privileged in that respect. So to sit at 10 o'clock at night to sit and watch the news, no, I'm not playing that game either. I'm absolutely with you on that.
No, I mean, I'm very much about, try and keep my energy and my vibration high. So I'm very much, I watch comedy before I go to bed, because if I'm going to bed laughing and feeling good, I'm going to sleep better, right?
Yeah, that's great. Oh my goodness, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that tonight or later. Yeah,
absolutely. And like last night it was Dinner Ladies, and then I did a bit of the Royal Family, or it might be Gavin and Stacey or QI. So it's all the stuff that I've already watched. You know, it's nothing new. But that's also something really comforting and familiar in that, because I'm not taking a chance and I might not like it. It's a comfort blanket before I go to bed.
I love that. That's really exciting. Can I throw Grace and Frankie in there as well? I'm a little. If you haven't seen them, go with those girls. They are phenomenal. And I love that. I love the idea of watching comedy. So funny. Comedy is something I often don't think about doing, but I do like comedy films. So yeah, I might put on a film or something. And something that I also do quite a lot of is kind of abundance podcast or abundance YouTube videos, you know, whether it's a Louise Hay, Mel Robbins, or an Oprah. There's definitely something, or depends who I'm feeling. I'll just tap into and just go, okay, let me see what they've got to say. But it's got to be high vibration, right? It's got to be positive, it's got to be bright, it's got to be showing me maybe another way to carve out abundance or love and joy and peace and calm in my body.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, you know, when I wrote my happiness book in 2018, one of the key takeaways was happiness is a choice and it's your responsibility. You know, I've got my 11-year-old daughter, God love her, and she's very clearly neurodivergent, and she will say things like, make me happy, and trying to teach her that I can't, baby. I can make it easier for you to be happier, sure, but I can't make you happy. That's your responsibility. You make you happy. It's a work in progress. We're only 11. We're getting there slowly, but but it is. And I think all of us don't realize that. We put the keys to our happiness in somebody else's pocket and then wonder why we're disappointed.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Katie, I was literally speaking to a friend about this yesterday. And I remember speaking, and it makes me a little bit uncomfortable to think about it, but with an ex-partner. And I was like, you know, why aren't you making me happy? And as if it was their responsibility to show up and go, oh, okay, Sonia, well, I'm just going to put my life on hold and facilitate everything for you. No, I mean, it was a huge lesson. It was literally like I just hit a brick wall and I was like, oh, this is me. If I don't like what I'm doing, where I'm at, my job, my life, all of the things, move it or change. I think I heard you say recently, I'm not a tree. You know, I know you say that.
That's one of my key. I have all these quotes. I think my friends I should tattoo up my arm. But I say, if you don't like where you are, move. You are not a tree.
Absolutely. And it's exactly that. And your happiness is exactly the same. So, you know, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So, you know, if you are in a world where you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know this, stop the thinking and just go, right, what are the little droplets of joy? If someone's offering you a drum circle, go and play the drums. If you want to go dancing on Saturday night, go out dancing. If someone says to you, do you want to try a bit of yoga? Go, I don't know. Yeah, do you know what? Why not? I haven't got anything to want to choose afternoon. Let's go yoga. Let's do 5 rhythms of dance. Let's go to a Reiki master and to have a little bit of energy healing to see what it's all about. Like, what are these people talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. It's being open to life and open, like I say, to joy and happiness and connection. And I really think that's one of the key reasons why we're here, right? It's like, we're not here to suffer and be miserable, although people would have you believe that's the case. We're actually here to love and to find joy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, and it's a choice. I love that you explaining that it's a choice. It absolutely is, because I could wake up this morning and go, oh God, it's raining. It's going to be such a rubbish day. I tell you what, it's raining, but my plants that have been a little bit dehydrated of late, they're going to be watered, and they're going to start blooming and coming up. You know, I was with my niece yesterday, and we were these allotments. It's a gorgeous local kind of sustainable cafe, and they had bedded in some seeds, and we went over, and she was going to start lifting the soil, and I was like, oh, the seeds are sleeping. They're sleeping. And some of them had come up just a little bit, and I was like, oh, look, there's this one, and then when it gets a little bit bigger, you're going to have this one, and then you're going to have this one, and then it's going to grow. So let the seeds sleep. So, you know, today with all the rain, it's going to be so exciting, because those seeds are going to get the nourishment that they need, and the sunshine will come, and they will bloom, and it's just that flow of abundance, and choosing to see the bright, choosing to see the light. And I'm not saying that life is always a bed of roses. Of course it's not. It's hard, you know, just sometimes getting out of bed is a challenge. So I applaud you if you got out of bed today and you've even managed to brush your teeth, winning, because there was a time last week where I didn't do either. And, you know, we have to ebb and flow. So when the good days are here and the brighter days are here, I still know there's light. I know that this too shall pass, right? Yeah. To sit in the flow and appreciate that if my body needs a rest day, then I have to honor her and go, okay, I see you need I feel you need a rest day today. Yeah. Let's be super hard on ourselves and just go with the flow.
It's so true, because as much as happiness is a choice, at the same time, let's not kind of lean into toxic positivity, because it is okay to not be okay. And I always say that to people, because you're a human being living on planet Earth in 2024. It would be weird if you were happy all the time. So my thing is that I don't now unpack my stuff and live in that space like I used to. So when I would downward spiral, I would be there for weeks, if not months, going like, and I personalize it, and life was crap because I was crap, and it was all about me, and blah, blah. Now I'm like, I'm just having a bad day. We'll try again tomorrow. Yeah.
And it's so easy and quick to escalate, isn't it? You know, you're like, oh God, this went wrong. And then, this person doesn't do this for me. And my house is this, and my car is this, and my job and my work and my clients. You just have to go, okay, do you know what? Let's just catch it. Let's catch it.
Yeah.
Stop, take a breath, and reframe it. Go, do you know what? Yeah. No, actually, I'm awesome. I'm amazing. I have a beautiful life. I'm very grateful. I have breath. I have breath in my lungs. So that means I have choice in this moment. So where are we going to go with that? And that's not to say that it's going to be an easy choice. You know, it could just be sitting and being still and being quiet.
Yeah, absolutely. I must ask you, because I really resonate in that space, as you know. Do you find that people have an issue with you being a multi-passionate person? Because I do.
You have an issue with me being multi-passionate?
No, other people have an issue with me being multi-passionate. I've been told many times by many different people that I should pick a lane. And it's like, why? Why should I pick a lane? Like, who am I picking the lane for?
Yeah.
Right? So obviously your worlds are very diverse. Like you said, you've got your television career over here, and then you've got your healing now that you're more and more and more engaging with. And obviously you're making it work. It balances pretty much, you know. And I know there are times where sometimes it's a bit like, ooh, but for the most part you're balancing it. But I find that the people that seem to have an issue with it.
Yeah,
it's like your reality.
Do you know what? I'm very lucky. It's not my. Is it? No, I'm going to say it's not my reality. But do you know? What I'm hearing there is that when we show up in a certain way, our groundedness, kind of our security, highlights other people's fears and their scarcity mindset and what they're not offering or what they're not showing up in. So when I'm out and about doing, I don't know, when I tell people that we're doing this beautiful podcast, some people are like, oh my gosh, why are you doing that? Or what? How come she's asked you to do that? Or, and I'm like, no, that's your fear. I can see you, and I'm just gonna breathe and send you love right now. And I'm going to know that it's okay that Katie and I has had this beautiful conversation. And yes, it's going to go out into the ether, and I just have to trust that it's going to be okay. But back to your question, sorry, I kind of digressed there, Katie. Do you know what? I think because it's been something that's happened very gradually and organically. So there's moments where, you know, I tell my mum I'm going to a drum circle. She's like, oh, okay, that's great. Oh, mum, I've just trained in my Reiki. It's energy healing work. And she's like, oh, right, okay, yeah. Well, I used to see your grandfather at the bottom of my bed after he passed. And I'm like, really? So it opens up conversations. It's moments where you go, I'm going to show up in my truth because I have to. And that's not to say it hasn't been a challenge. And you know, showing up and speaking to 50 women in that space as we did was terrifying, because I'm showing up in all of my truth and bringing up story and experience that some people have no idea about. You know, a good few friends and family came up to support me, and I was so grateful. But because it's been so organic and gentle, it's kind of just carved out, and everyone's just embracing it. And lots of people are like, Son, I've got something going on. Is there any way you can help me, or what can you do with this? And I love the fact that I've got a community of friends and family, and also, you know, an extended community of friends and family, more friends and family. But they trust me to ask me the questions and say, I don't know if you can help me. In fact, a client last week, colleague, really, really close colleague, I did a chakra balance with them, and I seen them a few days later, and they went, I don't know what you did, but it has changed my life. Like, I have no idea. And I'm like, well, we don't need to know. We don't need to know. I mean, if you want story, we can delve into story if you want to. We can sit and talk about it. But, you know, it's when we hold spaces that are really safe for people. So with my chakra balance, you know, it's a blend of energy work with myofascial release, so the connective tissue, the water web. When you're holding someone like that and you feel their body flowing and rippling underneath the skin, it's such a delicious connection. And you're like, I can't explain why or how that's happening. I mean, it happens within our body all the time. Like, our myofascia at the moment is flowing and wisping and moving around and doing all the things and keeping us safe. But I also don't know how I'm speaking to you through pictures, through this Wi-Fi connection. You know, I turn on my electricity or my lights and my water, and I don't overthink how and why that's happening. I just trust it to be. So when we talk about energy and moving into mediumship and all the wonders of insights that we're offered, that we're not all completely tapped into, sometimes we don't need an explanation. We just need to trust.
It's so true. I love that. And it's so true. It's like, I think that, you know, this is who you are, that kind of identity, and they put you in a box and go like, you know, like, as you know, I used to be a high school teacher, and so that was very knowable. It's like Katie was the teacher, she was in the teacher box. But as a multi-passionate person, being in one box just makes me feel massively claustrophobic. I have to have lots of boxes that I spread myself. There is no box, right? I am just like water, we're flowing, right? There's no box. But I mean, talking about water, for me, it was about that umbrella. So I go, okay, this is the essence of what I do. This is my why. This is my intention. And then once you get that, then you can hang whatever you like underneath that. For me, that's kind of, I visualize that, and it really resonates. But like I say, a lot of people are like, I think it makes them feel comfortable because it's not noble for them. I think, of course, a lot of fear comes from the unknown. So I think that's where some people would struggle, you know?
Yeah, it absolutely is. It is true. I'm just, it can be, and do you know what? And I love the idea of the umbrella that you've spoken about, because I've only recently kind of found my umbrella, if you like. And as soon as I found that, because I was trying to picture myself, I was trying to put myself in a box. I don't belong in a box. I don't think any of us should be in a box, but I think that's how some people need to see the world, and that's okay. But for me, like you know, I'm multifaceted. I've got all these different things that I want to do. And, you know, definitely when I started into this work and thought, because some people say, oh, well, you're going to leave telly? And I'm like, no, why? I might do, and I probably will in the future, you know, when I'm doing my retreats and I'm speaking around the world on stages and my selling books and all of the beautiful stuff. But that doesn't also mean maybe I could floor manage my own speeches, who knows. But it's just such a blend. And I, you know, for me, like my umbrella, if we want to put it as that or explain it like that, because I think it's a beautiful analogy, is connection back to self. So underneath that, I can do dowsing and pendulum work. I can connect with people going, right, let's ask our body. You know, I did a beautiful workshop last night asking our body what she needs. So whether it's vitamins or nourishments or how many hours sleep do I need? I asked mine last week and she needed 10 hours sleep on Thursday. So it's like, okay, I have to trust in that. So when I do that, you know, and then so whether it's energy healing, distance energy healing, face-to-face stuff, connective tissue release, KCR, you know, all of the things, or online circles, and excuse me, it's I'm sorry, I'm so excited. I'm just thinking like the umbrella, it's such a beautiful way, because only until like the end of last year I was thinking I'm just doing this and a bit of this and a bit of this, and how do I funnel it? But actually I don't need to. I've got connection to self, and then I've got all these wonderful things. So whether, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, and it may not work for other people, but I think for me, having that analogy, because I'm such a visual person, that analogy, that visual of the umbrella just feels so much more freeing, because it's like, well, you may think that I'm not pigeonholing myself, but I know that all of my offerings, all of my work is under that umbrella. And so it just, I don't know, it seems to flow easier, you know?
And that's the thing, right? You have to find your unique way of living. So your business and your way of living, or your way of business, or way of finding people and healing the world one by one, as I know you're doing, it has to be your way. But it's lovely. I can sit in and go, okay, Katie's doing it like that. Maybe that might work a little bit, and I can try it. And I know that I can phone you up and say, Katie, I've seen you doing this. How did you do that? How did it work? I'm trying to figure out, like, can you help me? And just like with all the other ladies that we've connected with and we've got in our tribe and our circles and our connections, it's a beautiful community when you don't have a scarcity mindset and you just open up your heart, think that anything is possible, and I don't need to pigeonhole myself. I don't have to just say I'm just going to do that. But it does help when you've got a framework, I think.
Oh, absolutely. So what's next for Sonia on her journey? What's the plan? Because I know that you've always got the plans, right? So what's next in the back of the old brain there?
What's next in the old brain? Do you know what? I did a festival last year. I absolutely loved it. I attended as a practitioner. I didn't host my own festival. So I absolutely wanted to one day. I absolutely want to do a few more of those. Oh goodness. Gosh, you've flummoxed me. Hold on, let's take a breath. I mean, I've got some big plans. I mentioned there that I want to do retreats. I want to do beautiful women gathering retreats where we run naked in the woodlands and we get into earth and we like roll in the mud and we get into the lakes and we really deeply connect back to self. I want to do that kind of stuff. I also want to do more speeches and speaking. I've got a networking event this week, which I'm super excited about going to. So just expanding and reaching the millions, reaching the world. And online just makes it so much more accessible. In the pandemic, I was able to do energy healing and energy work with people around the world. My coach was in Canada. I was talking and helping people in the States. I had a lady that was traveling around the world. She was still able to travel due to her job. And, I supported her when she was in France. She then had to relocate to Saudi, and then she went back over to Canada. So it's so beautiful that we can reach everyone. So I'm just, speeches, stages, worlds, books. I want to write some books. I'm very gratefully had a beautiful experience of writing a chapter within one of your books, and that was such another deep healing experience for me to delve in and out of that writing. But also, if you asked me to write that story again today, I would write it in a very different, more open way. But that's a journey, right?
That's the nature of it.
So when you asked me, I think it was 2 years ago, I was in a very different place, maybe still in a little bit of fear, and I didn't want to say too much, and I was worried about offending this person or that person. It's a blend and it's a shift. So yeah, books, retreats, the world, more online.
I love it. I love it. It's like, watch this space. I'm telling you, Sonia has not come this far to only come this far. And I'm telling you, there's a lot more to come for you. And I always knew that. The second I met you, I was like, oh, this girl's shining bright. She's going to go places. So keep your eyes on it. I'm telling you, because, watch this space, truly. So
That's so kind of you, Kate. Thank you.
Pleasure. No, thank you. So where can we find you online if people want to connect and reach out to you? Where are all your beautiful offerings?
Where are all my beautiful offerings? So yes, my workshop, I'm doing workshops bi-monthly, every 2 weeks, fortnightly.
That's what
I've lost my ability to make sense.
Maybe you kind of work on the speaking before you stand on the stage.
Yeah, the speaking part. But you know what, actually, just about the speaking part, a gorgeous friend said to me when I was about to do a share once in a small community meeting and spiritual meetings that I go to, she just said, take a breath and just realize, Sonia, that you are just the vessel to share a story with. You are just the conduit that's going to receive something. And I suppose we do that in our energy healing work as well, because I'm not healing people. So there's something bigger and greater that flows through us to guide us. So we're just the conduit, if you like, or the vessel that offers that out. I
call myself the radio. I've just tuned into the right frequency, that's all.
Love that. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard that. Okay, like that. It's exactly, and also we turn on the radio. I don't know how that music's coming out of there, but I'm trusting it to be true. So it's all frequency, it's all energy. It's beautiful.
Exactly.
Sorry, right, again, right, how do you find me? So I am Sonia-Jane Healing Rooms on Instagram, social. I'm on Sonia-Jane Acheson on Facebook. So those are my main portals. And I've also recently just bought my domain name, which was quite... So that is not launched just yet. Excuse me, so I don't want to share that, but it's me, it's my brand, it's my name. Because also I was in fear before. I was like, well, shall I just be called the something healing rooms, or the I'm Sonia-Jane, it is me. You either buy into me or you don't. You love my energy or you don't. And if you don't, then scoot off and play with like Katie or Louisa or Jennifer and all the other amazing women that are out there. We're just uniquely us. So yeah, find me on social, tap me up, send me a message. I do have private WhatsApp groups and things. That's why I was thinking bi-weekly, because I tap into those guys every few days. But connect on social, and then
and I'll put all the links down here. So wait until it's finished, but then go and have a little look and see what she's about, and then any offerings that she has, reach out to her, because I know that Sonia's always open to connection, just like me. So absolutely. But lads, listen, Sonia, I said to you before we start recording, I said this is going to be a good one, and I knew it would be, and it has been. I love that you and I can go anywhere in a conversation, and it's so open, and it's just been great. So thank you ever so much. Really, truly, it's been wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time, your energy, and just hearing me. It's really important that we're heard, right? And so you're offering for us to be heard and to be shared and to resonate with other people. So keep shining bright, beautiful, and thank you so much for having me and holding this space.
You're very welcome. Right back at you. But and a few too, actually, at home. I hope something in this podcast has really hit somewhere or resonated. And it's not about necessarily working with me or Sonia. It's just about your truth and your honesty and your energy. So hopefully something has hit, and let us know. Come in the comments and say, what your takeaways from this was. So thank you for watching, and I will definitely see you on the next one. Big love to you, big love to Sonia, and I'll see you soon. Bye.